Hello viewers watching at home on any smart device as well as computers. Thank you for joining me with Bridge Cable. I'm Victoria, and what we have for you today is our Employee Spotlight. What this is a one-on-one interview with one of our lovely employees. You get to know them both professionally as well as personally. Alright, so I have a few questions for you. Some are going to be professional based, some are going to be kind of getting to know you, so be prepared.
Okay.
But for starters, tell me, where were you born?
I was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Local, alright.
Local, yes.
So what made you decide to pursue this line of work?
Actually, I was always interested in cable, especially when we first got cable TV when I was young. So, and it just happened. It actually just happened that way after that. But I remember the cable guy coming to my house for the first time and thinking, that looks like a good job. Believe it or not.
I want to get into that.
And it sort of happened.
So walk me through a typical day here at Bridge Cable.
Typical days, you get your assignment the night before, you get ready for what you have to do. You can do a service ticket, you can either go into a job that's already in progress, you can just starting to look at a job. It could be any number of things. You could walk a job just to see what it's looking like these days. You can, like I said, go to a job that's where it all depends on what needs to be done that day.
You're prepared for the unexpected?
Typical days could be anything. Anything's typical.
So what steps did you take to become knowledgeable in this trade?
I was very fortunate. I was hired by a company over the phone a long time ago that just happened to be a union company. They got taken over by a bigger union, so I was actually trained through the apprenticeship in the union.
Interesting.
Yes.
So if we were in an alternate timeline, what would you actually see yourself doing besides this?
I love sports. I could be a gambler.
That's not where I thought you were going with that.
But no, I'd probably be very unsuccessful at that, so I'm sure I'd have to pick something. But believe it or not, I've actually worked in a restaurant field before, and I kind of liked it, so.
Okay,
Who knows,
it's very fast-paced.
Maybe I'd be on Top Chef.
There you go. So when you're not working, what do you like to do?
Sports again. Love sports, and did I mention sports? But
I don't know, sports?
Other than that, animated TV shows, and that's about it.
Okay. So speaking of, what is your favorite TV show and why?
My favorite TV show is probably right now American Dad.
That's a good one.
I love it. Like I said, animated shows are two reasons.
Who's your favorite character?
Definitely Roger the Alien. He keeps it very interesting, keeps it going, all of that stuff. And another reason I like animated shows is the same reason I like Seinfeld. You don't have to watch it every week to find out what's going on. I can pick it up anytime.
There you go. And
it's just funny. Yes.
So if you actually had to pick one particular thing about this line of work, what would you choose that you like the most?
I like actually doing the cabling the most. It's the most important thing. If your cable's not pulled right or not looking right, inspection-wise, operation-wise, things can go bad. But I enjoy pulling the cable. That's what I do. That's what I think I would say. What I appreciate the most, do the most, like the most.
Awesome.
It's definitely the design of pulling the cable.
So what do you make sure that you always have in your tool belt as well as your toolbox? And what do you use it for?
You should always have a punch down tool. You're going to use that for everything every day. You're going to be punching down jacks or patch panels or something to that effect. You should always have a flashlight. You're going to be working in dark spaces all the time in this field, so you need to see where you're going, and you don't want to drop your $900 phone down a column that you cannot retrieve. So
that does not sound fun.
Get a flashlight. Other things are a network guy's best friend are the snips, and I do have them with me. They're very important. Most people don't know these notches are for stripping cable, just so you ever wanted to know what they were for. But,
you know, I just tell everybody something.
Yes, but this is definitely your most important tool. You're going to use this every day to cut something, everything, strip your wire. That's probably the most important tool right there,
right,
in my opinion.
So what would you say is probably the most dangerous thing about the job, and what do you do to go about safety prevention?
There's many dangerous things about this job. You can be working in open construction at any time. You can be working outside in the streets, in manholes. there's just a ton of things. Hard hats required on OSHA jobs, and some customers, you can't go in without hard hats or safety equipment, PPE. You're going to be on lifts a lot. You're going to be 30 feet in the air. You're going to be climbing up on ladders 16 feet in the air. And there's, you know, they all have safety features that you do. You can learn them in OSHA classes and things like that. Or, you know, you always have to have 3 points of contact on the ladder when you're going up. You should be harnessed when you're up in the air, things like that. And they're all teachable, and you shouldn't be doing them if you don't know the safety.
So there's a lot of things that you have to make sure that you are
There's an
being
immense
safe
amount
about.
of safety. Even when you're working on the jobs, there's other trades. You know, people are going to be working over your heads. They're going to be working under. You're going to have live electric some places. I mean, it's all.
So be aware at all times.
You need to be aware at all times. You need to pay attention, especially when you're on the open construction sites. Yes.
Right. So do you have a current job that you, or previous job rather, that sticks out in your mind as the most memorable?
My most memorable job was working at Einstein Hospital at the time. They redid a whole wing, and it was for a call center, so it was a lot of pulling cable. It was a lot of furniture, a lot of power poles. I mean, it was just almost everything that you want to do on the job in a whole job. It had the wireless access. It had a camera or two. I mean, it was, you know, it had everything that you needed, and it was big. It was long. And it was not many workers either, so it was a lot of work. But that's the job that sticks out to me the most when I think about jobs.
Okay. So if you had to give advice to anybody that was an up-and-comer in this field, what would you say?
Take your time. Don't rush anything. It's a lot to learn. There's a lot of things to learn. It's tremendous amount if you really think about it. But you know, it all looks simple. You're just pulling cable and putting it in a jack. It's just not that easy. There's guidelines to it. There's structure to it. There's, you know, you can't pull wire certain ways. You're going to burn it. And there's a lot to it. It's a lot to learn. Just take your time. You know, if you don't know anything, just like anything else, ask questions. I mean, it really is a lot to learn. You're not going to be great at the job in 2 years. I mean, you might be good. You might be learning and all, but you know, you're not even going to be halfway of what you need to know. So just take your time and try to learn as much as you can when you can. Read books, you know, read the magazines about the trades, and all that stuff. I mean, just keep learning, just like you should in any other job.
There you go.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming, and
You're
stay
very
tuned,
welcome.
everyone watching at home, for another Employee Spotlight.